So what's WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux? In this video, we'll see what is that exactly. We'll compare it with dual boot. We'll see how to set it up. And finally, we'll see it in action. So this is the definition from their website. Windows Subsystem for Linux. It's a Linux environment for Windows without the overhead of a traditional virtual machine or a dual boot setup. Now let's compare it with dual boot. How does it compare with dual boot? Number one, right? It's kind of pain to set up the dual boot. We all know, we have been through that. And we know that we need to switch between Linux environment and Windows environment, specifically if we are kind of using Linux for our development and Windows for some productivity tools. We'll have to continuously switch between the two operating systems. Shared clipboard. It's not possible with Linux and Windows being set up as two different operating systems, right? So with that, now let's see how WSL kind of eases all these pain points. So we'll get into setup with that. To set up WSL, I have Windows PowerShell open here with me. The first thing we would need to do, and mind this is optional, you don't necessarily have to do this, but if you want to select a particular distro and not install the default one, which is Ubuntu, you need to run the list command. So WSL -- list and online. So this will give you a list of available distros, and you can now choose the distro of your choice. Now once you have selected, you can do WSL --install -d and the distro name. For example, let's say Debian, and you can do that. Mind it, if you didn't want to select and wanted to go with Ubuntu, you would have just left it over here and this would install Ubuntu for you. It's now time to see WSL in action. So first we'll begin with the simplest one and one of the pain points which we discussed with dual boot setup, the shared clipboard. So here, as you can see, I have the notepad open with me over here, and here's my Windows terminal. So first we'll activate WSL. So to do that, you just have to say WSL, and now we are in the Linux terminal. And now the notepad where I had certain strings over here. So let me just copy this, and I can say paste directly here. As you can see, it's so seamless, right? So just to make sure that I haven't already had that on my clipboard, I'll do another string, and you can see once again the copy paste is just so seamless. Moving on to the next interesting feature, which is accessing the host files using the mount path. So what I mean by that is, from the Linux terminal, we can also access the files which we natively store on the Windows. For example, all you have to do is go to the mnt folder, and this is where the C drive will be mounted. So you can go to mntc and follow rest of the conventional path that you have on Windows. So I'm going here, the videos, right? And I can access all the files which are stored on the Windows file system. Also, now let's step up the game here a bit. Now we have been interacting with only the CLI features so far. Now we'll see the mix of how UI and CLI between the Windows and Linux works. For example, here, let me open my file explorer, right? So this is my file explorer. I can open a terminal from here, and once I do that, you can see the location is there, and now I can just do WSL and it'll take me directly into the Linux terminal. That's how we activate, first of all, and then to the path. So you can see how seamless that integration is. From this UI component, which is the file explorer, I can invoke and initiate the Linux distro that is there, that has been set up. And now for the final one that I want to showcase here is, right now we saw how we could start the Linux terminal from the Windows. Now we see the other way. You can also start the applications which are installed on Windows from the Linux terminal. For example, right now I'm here and I have code installed, right? The Visual Studio Code, which is CLI present on my Linux terminal, and it's also the UI is hosted on the Windows. So if I hit code here, it'll start up the VS Code installation, which is present on my Windows. As you can see, this has come up and it's hosted, it's using basically the Windows UI. Well, that's all I had from WSL. I hope you liked this quick demo of how WSL works, and it kind of inspires you to go ahead and try it for yourself. Happy coding. Bye.